Gog and Magog, known in Arabic as Yajuj wa Majuj, are two massive human tribes descended from Adam, and specifically from the lineage of Noah's son Japheth. Their existence is confirmed in Surah Al-Kahf and Surah Al-Anbiya in the Quran. They are characterized by immense numbers, overwhelming strength, and a history of corruption and destruction on earth. Their current location is behind a colossal barrier constructed by the righteous ruler al-Qarnayn. This barrier was erected to contain their destructive raids against neighboring peaceful populations. The tribes remain sealed off from the rest of humanity, awaiting the predetermined time of their release, which is established as one of the major signs preceding the Day of Judgment. The construction of the barrier was initiated after al-Qarnayn encountered a community suffering from the constant aggression of Gog and Magog. They requested protection, offering him tribute, which he refused, instead offering his labor. The wall was built between two mountains, utilizing a highly specific method. al-Qarnayn commanded the people to bring him large blocks of iron. He then heated the iron until it glowed red hot, subsequently pouring molten copper over the entire structure. This fusion created a barrier of unparalleled strength, making it impossible for the tribes to climb over or tunnel through using conventional means. The wall is described as smooth and extremely high, effectively sealing the passage between the mountains.
The precise geographical location of the barrier remains unknown to modern man, leading to various historical interpretations. Early Islamic scholars often place the location in the far north or northeast, frequently associating it with the Caucasus Mountains near the Caspian Sea, or sometimes linking it to the Great Wall of China, although the Quranic description of the barrier materials contradicts the latter. The consensus among contemporary scholars is that the wall is either situated in a remote, inaccessible region of the world, or its location is deliberately concealed by divine decree. The wall's purpose is not merely physical containment, but a test of faith, confirming the unseen reality of the major signs. A key aspect of their confinement is their relentless daily effort to breach the wall. According to prophetic narrations, Gog and Magog spend the entire day digging and scraping at the barrier until they are close to breaking through. When they stop digging for the night, the wall is miraculously restored to its original strength by divine power. This cycle repeats every day. The tribes are prevented from completing the breach because they fail to attribute their success to God's will. The moment they finally remember to say, Insha'Allah, if God wills, before resting, the wall will remain weakened, allowing them to complete the breach the following morning. The release of Gog and Magog is firmly established as one of the 10 major signs of the hour, known as Alamat al-Kubra. Their emergence occurs after the appearance of the Dajjal, the false Messiah, and after the descent of Prophet Isa, Jesus, son of Mary, to earth. Isa will have already defeated the Dajjal and established a period of peace. God will then reveal to Isa that a force has been released against which no human army can prevail. This sequence confirms that the release of Gog and Magog marks the final, overwhelming tribulation before the absolute end of the world.
The successful breach of the wall will be signaled by a massive, unprecedented sound as the iron and copper structure finally collapses. The tribes will pour forth onto the earth in unimaginable numbers, described as flowing down from every height. Their population density will be so vast that the first wave of tribes will drink dry the entire Lake Tiberias, also known as the Sea of Galilee, leaving no water for those who follow. This immediate consumption of a major water source highlights the sheer scale and speed of their global spread, confirming the prophetic warnings regarding their overwhelming presence. Upon their release, Gog and Magog will spread across the entire inhabited world, causing widespread chaos and destruction. They will consume all available resources, including crops, livestock, and water. The believers, led by Prophet Isa, will be unable to fight them due to their sheer numerical superiority and ferocity. Isa and his followers will be commanded by God to retreat and seek refuge on Mount Tur, where they will remain besieged. The tribes will demonstrate their arrogance by shooting arrows toward the sky, claiming victory over the inhabitants of heaven, further illustrating their immense pride and disbelief. With humanity trapped and facing annihilation, Prophet Isa will turn to God in earnest supplication, praying for the destruction of the tribes. God will answer this prayer immediately. The destruction will not be achieved through human warfare, but through a divine plague. God will send specific insects, described as worms or maggots, which will infest the necks of every member of Gog and Magog. This infestation will cause instantaneous death, resulting in the simultaneous demise of the entire population of the tribes across the globe.
Following their mass death, the earth will be covered entirely by the putrefying corpses of Gog and Magog, creating an unbearable stench that poisons the air and makes life impossible for the surviving believers. Prophet Isa and his companions will again pray to God for relief from this pollution. God will respond by sending large birds, described as having necks like those of Bactrian camels, which will descend and carry the millions of corpses away, depositing them in a designated location. Subsequently, God will send a heavy, purifying rain that washes the earth clean, restoring its fertility and removing all traces of the devastation. The destruction of Gog and Magog marks the beginning of a final era of peace and prosperity under the rule of Prophet Isa. The earth will experience unprecedented blessings and fertility. The land will yield abundant harvests, and fruit trees will bear fruit in excess. The surviving believers will live in security and harmony, enjoying the bounties of the purified earth. This period of tranquility will last until the final, ultimate signs of the hour commence, signaling the absolute end of all creation.